2 to keep that kind of a record going.
As for UTA, the Mavericks are 9-5. Had the chance to catch up with fourth-year head coach J.T. Winger. Says this year's team very different than the one he fielded a year ago. It feels as if the Mavericks have traded experience for athleticism. UTA a little bit more athletic here in 2020. It's a young team, but likes where they're at as we approach the end of the regular season. First serve belongs to Allie Wells, a sophomore from Waxahachie, and starts things off with a service there. Bobcats early lead. And there is Janelle Fitzgerald, the junior out of Mansfield, preseason All-Sun Belt Conference. Just named the Sun Belt Conference Offensive Player of the Week after a dominating performance at Arkansas State last week. Averaged more than 5 kills per set against the Red Wolves, had 30 on Saturday, tied for the third most in the country this season. Bobcats on top 2-0.
We're going to see a pretty aggressive match tonight. Both left sides for UTA are young, but they're very good.
And DeWalt has service for Texas State with the Bobcats on top 2-0. Good dig by Granado. She's been such a consistent player this year for the Bobcats as UTA scores for the first time, makes it 2-1.
I don't think she was quite ready for that velocity. That was great velocity by the left side attack. Brianna Ford is the one who hit that ball.
On service, Kaylee Kapp, the junior out of Wiley, Texas. 13 aces for her this season, had 7 in the opener against Little Rock, the most in a 4-set match in the nation this season. Janelle Fitzgerald has her first kill. Right now we're having some technical issues. The score is Texas State on top 3-1. And in a serve for Texas State, Michelle Foster, the sophomore out of Allen. Had a good defensive series against UTA when these two met a couple of weeks ago in Arlington. A couple of sweeps in for Texas State. They've gotten the better of the Mavericks over the past 12 matches they have met. UTA's last win in the series coming 6 years ago.
Wow.
And some miscommunication there, mistiming of the jump by Brooke Townsend, the junior for the Mavericks, a misplay there on the left side.
That ball was set pretty wide. Both teams seem to be a little bit amped up here.
Serve received by Brianna Ford. Here's DeWalt. Setting up Heiser. Now Fitzgerald. Off the fingertips of Townsend, the Bobcats have the early 6-1 lead.
You know, Teskey had a chance to hit deep corner there, tried to bury it in the middle. I think Wells is going to dig those tonight.
When talking about Texas State, Mavericks head coach J.T. Winger calling them the most physical team in the West Division by far. DeWalt in particular a force to be reckoned with, and you've seen her impacts this season for Texas State. Emily DeWalt again has been consistent from the beginning of the season to now.
Yeah, she's been the glue that's just kept everything going all the time, and she doesn't ever seem to get rattled, you know.
Sets up Fitzgerald there. Good dig by Wells. Right side hit from Townsend, got blocks.
Slaughter and Teskey all over that.
Another good dig, that time from Kylie Kapp. Fitzgerald got blocked that time by Brianna Brown.
Well, I tell you, in warm-ups, Brianna Brown blocked their own team off the court in warm-up. She is a very good blocker, and they want her on Janelle Fitzgerald. This will be a great battle tonight.
Should know just how young this Maverick team is, but it's really impressive youth. The freshman Briannas in particular have been very good this season, Brianna Ford and Brianna Brown.
Pay particular attention to where Allie Wells dug that ball. Perfect dig to the middle, allowed them to have all three hitters.
Where Wells kept that alive. Great hustle there from UTA. And the hustle pays off as the Mavericks win the point. The hustle by the Mavericks to track down the ball as it was heading towards the stands results in a Maverick point. Those 58 wins for Coach Wenger. Fourth most all-time in Maverick volleyball history.
Oh, miscommunication.
So 4 in a row scored by UTA, cuts the Bobcat lead down to 1.
So that time they were going to try to hit Fitzgerald left side, and Teskey was coming in for a 2-ball, but I don't know if DeWalt could see where she was coming.
Here's Ford, was named Sunbelt Freshman of the Week a couple of weeks ago after a series against Arkansas State. Fitzgerald to kill, Bobcats on top by 2.
So Fitzgerald really elevated here, Brent, and that's what's going to hurt Brown. If she can go up high like that, she'll score a lot.
Bobcat head coach Sean Hewitt in year 1 as head coach, 15th season with the program. Has told his team to be confident, not cocky. They understand that they can be beaten by anyone at any time. But this team keeps finding ways to win. They were down 0-2 on Saturday against Arkansas State, won the final 3 to keep their winning streak alive. The Bobcats have won 16 straight matches.
Slaughter helping the line judge make that call of out of bounds.
The 16-match win streak for the Bobcats, second current longest winning streak in the nation. Good play from the middle. Michaela Wright, the junior out of Columbia, Missouri, has the play for the Mavericks.
We haven't said much about Tessa Marshall being in there tonight. The third middle blocker replacing Tierney Scott.
That's right. Yeah, Tierney Scott dealing with a hip and groin injury. Bobcats would like to keep her on the shelf this weekend in anticipation of the conference tournament next weekend. The Bobcats, though, are without 2 players for the remainder of the season. Cordy Heiser with a broken foot and Kayla Tello with a knee injury.
And Marshall just scored on that 3 set, so she's coming in and trying to pick up the slack here.
Tough serve received there by Brianna Ford, and her teammate Kylie Kapp unable to make the play off the net. A 10-6 Texas State lead here in the first set. Bobcats swept the Mavericks in the 2 matches a couple of weeks ago in Arlington. Good dig from Granado. Nice play from Wells for UTA. From the back row, pushed over by Ford. Cross-court setup. Dug out by Wells.
That's the 3rd or 4th dig Wells has had on Teskey. She has got to take that ball deeper or go down the line there. That's a good idea.
UTA call for being in the net.
Coach Hewitt,
6 Texas State.
Coach Hewitt talking to Teskey about shots now. That going to try to move that defense around a little bit.
Kapp setting up her teammate Brianna Brown, the freshman from White House, Texas, has the kill. You
have to see a line on Brown. She goes up and hangs and has a very nice arm swing. She's one of the best freshmen I've seen in the conference of all the teams we've gotten to see so far this year.
Had a 26-kill performance against Little Rock back on October the 10th. And was named Sunbelt Conference Freshman of the Week for her efforts. Here's Teskey.
Ah, there it is.
Bobcats back in front by 5.
They ran Teskey inside again, and then she hit back to 1 in the deep corner. Got a score.
Had a really impressive showing in the opening match against Arkansas State last weekend in Jonesboro. 15 kills, 8 digs, and 3 blocks for Teskey, all in just 3 sets.
Just missed on that one.
And now a 12-8 Texas State advantage. Again, the Bobcats trying to keep pace with Coastal Carolina. If Texas State wins tonight and tomorrow, the Bobcats would then claim their 3rd consecutive regular season title. They would share it with Coastal Carolina. The Bobcats would become just the 4th team in Sunbelt history to win at 3 or more straight titles.
Kennedy Rutherford just a little bit long, but good velocity on that swing.
Rutherford has stepped up her game this season. Averaged 3.5 kills per set of the sweep of Arkansas State last weekend. DeWalt keeping it alive for Rutherford. How about that? So DeWalt, a bump set
Overhead.
over her head. Yeah. Rutherford didn't get a good swing on it, but good enough.
Well, they were double blocking her for sure, and she decided to take a little bit off of that, which was a very smart move.
And out serving is Granado. Mentioned just how consistent she's been this season. Coach Hewitt believes she's been the most consistent player he's ever coached. That's saying something, given his 15 years with this program.
That is saying something. They're watching UTA's serve-receive pattern. They're awfully deep. Texas State may start serving a little bit shorter to try to move them up a little bit.
And that shot is in. UTA cuts the lead down to 4. And that will put Allie Wells back in the service position for UTA. Good kill there from Devon Martinka.
Martinka made a great shot into the deep one corner. That would mean DeWalt would have to go back in that corner to try to play that. Another miscommunication again.
The ball didn't get over. It's now 14-11. Bobcats have led by as many as 6 here in the first set. Allie Wells filling the void left behind by Madison St. Germain. Great libero for UTA a year ago, the Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Year. Now playing at Alabama. And the Mavericks piece together a run here. The lead is down to 2.
So far, Wells is as advertised. Very, very good.
Leads the country in digs per set. Last week in the series against Louisiana, Wells averaged more than 8.5 digs per set. Dug out that shot from Rutherford.
I tell you, the Bobcats are going to learn they can't hit at her. They're going to have to hit those seams, make her go to the floor. There, Rutherford off the hands. That was very good.
Bobcats years. And Texas State again trying to keep pace with Coastal Carolina. The shot it clears, took care of Appalachian State, wins over the Mountaineers yesterday and earlier today. With that, Coastal Carolina has clinched at least a share of the Sun Belt title. The Bobcats trying to share it with Coastal Carolina, and many people believe that the Sun Belt Finals will once again pit the Bobcats against the Chanticleers.
Both teams seem to be working very hard to have that happen, and both teams are really good this year.
Talked to Coach Hewitt, though, about the upcoming tournament, and he says not to sleep on Louisiana or Arkansas State. Either team could push Coastal and might wind up in the Sun Belt Finals.
Well, always in these kinds of tournaments, upsets are the key, and you really can't look ahead. You have to play the team that's coming next. So, yes, that's always a problem for both teams.
While the Bobcats and Chanticleers will have the top 2 records going into the tournament, neither team has really much of an advantage. With pool play, everybody's playing the same amount of matches and will have played the same amount by the time they reach the finals.
You know, the interesting thing tonight is Texas State has doubled up on the kills here in this first set, but their errors have kept UTA in this.
Nice swing from Fitzgerald. Bobcats expand their lead 17-13. Again, the Sun Belt Conference Tournament coming up next week in Foley, Alabama. You look at the dates for the upcoming tournament, all 12 teams will play. There are 4 pools of 3 teams each, and the winners will advance to the semifinals. The winners from pools A and D will meet in the semis, and the winners from pools B and C will meet in the other semifinal as well. We'll take a look at those pools coming up here later in the broadcast. As the Bobcats serve with a 5-point lead on top, 18-13. This team has been locked in this year. They have not lost a match in conference play, a perfect 14-0. Only 1 loss of any kind all year long. That came early in the year against UTEP. Shot from the middle, too strong there from Michaela Wright. Here are the pools. The Mavericks locked into Pool B. The Bobcats locked into Pool C. South Alabama, yes, has dealt with some injuries, but they're going to be dangerous next week as well.
Well, I think anybody that can field a team and get on the floor in the tournament is dangerous. You have to think that way if you're a coach, and for sure if you're a player.
We asked the question too, what happens in the eventual scenario which there's an even 1-1 split between three teams? The first tiebreaker is set percentage. The second tiebreaker is point percentage. If it somehow goes beyond that, it is your record against divisional opponents.
Yeah, no one wants it to go there because it's been uneven on who you've gotten to play. So I think they would rather roll the dice than go that way.
Here's Jillian Slaughter for Texas State. Played well against UTA in the 2 sweeps last month, 16 kills and 4 blocks in 6 sets. Bobcats now on top, 21-14. Texas State's goal this weekend was clear: to win a regular season title, yes, but also to stay healthy, get momentum going into the tournament. And likewise, Coach Winger for UTA. The Mavericks have nothing to gain here in terms of the standings. Again, they're locked into Pool B. But he wants his young volleyball team to play well before they head out to Foley, Alabama. This is an important weekend for them as well.
DeWalt got caught on her own dump play that time. I think we'll see a little bit of a battle here.
DeWalt setting up Teskey. Good play from Cap to keep it alive.
Good timing on that block by Fitzgerald and Marshall. Excuse me, Slaughter.
Teskey again. And that time, Michaela Wright caught flat-footed there in the middle.
That is a lower set. They've been working hard at getting the ball lower to Teskey so she can get on it faster, and doesn't allow the block to form. And she got hands on that one, which was really good. Caused a deflection right to the floor.
And Brooke Johnson to serve for Texas State, player that dealt with an elbow injury early on in the season. Here's Teskey.
Good shot off the hands.
Again, the Bobcats playing for a regular season title this weekend. They have won 9 regular season conference championships in program history, 11 tournament titles, but they have never won 3 straight regular season championships on the line this weekend against the rival Mavericks. And UTA again called for being in the net. That time Samara Payton, the freshman, makes a freshman mistake.
Well, 2 things that have been happening in this first set. UTA has been trying to hit the ball at DeWalt so she can't set in transition. And secondly, they only have Brown on Fitzgerald in 1 rotation. I would look for UTA to possibly rotate forward 2.
Here. And that's a first for the Sun Belt in quite some time. The level of play in the tournament, Mick, you and I saw it firsthand a year ago. It's awfully high.
Yes, we had some great matches, and they were a lot of fun, and we had a good crowd, and it was very enjoyable.
Seem to recall, I believe, the first 3 matches of the tournament all went 5 sets. It was something to see. Mavericks take the early lead here on the kill from Brianna Brown.
I really thought UTA would rotate back to matching Brown on Fitzgerald, but they're staying the same. So DeWalt will see this, and DeWalt will go over to Janelle Fitzgerald as many times as she can in the front row here. Good job to get Slaughter to the ball early, though.
So we're tied at 1 following the shot there from Jillian Slaughter. Tied at 1 here early on in set 2. Bobcats won the opening set 25-15. And Granado, a rare misplay for the Bobcats in the back line.
Again, opponents have scored against Texas State when they've set behind and hit cross court, meaning that the left front blocker has to get into that seam and press to the middle blocker to stop that. There's Slaughter on the outside this time.
And outside at 2.
So far, UTA hasn't found the answer on how to score. They've got doubled up on kills. Texas State was twice as many kills as UTA in the first set.
Dug out by DeWalt. Here's Teskey, the shot. Tries again. Kept alive by Teskey, but off the antenna. And it's 3-2. UTA on top. A Maverick team which got out to a good start this season, but they've been struggling as of late. The Mavericks come into this weekend series having dropped 4 out of their past 5. But again, locked into the 3 seed out west, with Georgia Southern and Troy looming in their pool next week.
One of the things that's happening to UTA right now is in that first set, they only got 13 digs, and guess who had 10 of them? Their libero, Allie Wells. So they have to get more transition swings to get their left sides more balls to get warmed up here. These 2 left sides are a big improvement for UTA this year, but they have to get them the ball.
You can see the disparity in games played. Texas State has played 20 matches. The Mavericks is 14. Of course, the impact of the pandemic has hit everybody. UTA's program no different. Been a very bizarre season talking to Coach Winger. And again, as he implements a new team this year, a lot of young players, a lot of changes from a year ago. You look at all the production UTA lost from last year. Madison Hill, first team All Sun Belt Conference selection. Kylie Jedlicka, second team All Sun Belt Conference. Madison St. Germain, the Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Year, and Bree Welp, a very good player in the middle defensively. That's a lot to lose from one year to the next.
Yeah, coaches have to, and Coach Calipari at Kentucky with men's basketball has to deal with that every year, but coaches have to learn to now deal with those transitions.
And typically, Mickey, you'd like to get a chance to work with a young team in non-conference play before the matches start counting a little bit more. But UTA didn't have that chance this year as the pandemic wiped out the non-conference schedule completely. Typically, this would be the point of the year, meaning weeks into the season for UTA, it's been 4, in which you've wrapped up non-conference play, but here they are 4 weeks into their season, and the tournament's starting next week.
That's true. That's true. I tell you, Tessa Marshall is doing a nice job in the middle, both blocking and attacking. She has shown the athleticism that Coach Hewitt wanted her to use.
Good play from Granado. There's Marshall again.
We haven't heard much about Granada because UTA won't hit at her.
Hit that one to Johnson.
Boy, Brown has had 2 good swings here. Rutherford, look at that.
Long rally here. Free ball for Texas State.
Oh, here comes Rutherford, deep corner. That's the idea. That's the idea on that shot. That looked pretty close, Brent.
With a ball pinball from one side to the other, it seemed like 20 different times. UTA, though, wins the point. That shot just lands out. Good call from the line judge. Tied at 5. Again, the Bobcats won the opening set 25-15. Back set, Marshall the shot, dug out by Cap.
Marshall prefers the 1 foot, so they're splitting the block. The 1 foot would be against Brown out here, and I'm kind of amazed, Brant, that Brown, their best blocker on the left front, is now blocking DeWalt, who hardly ever will attack. I feel like UTA is wasting an opportunity to slow Fitzgerald down by by using this rotation.
Nice back set. Good play from Teske, but Granado can't track it down. And we're tied again.
Peyton had a nice quick arm swing on that for UTA out of the middle.
Here's Molly Blank. Speaking of the youth for UTA, another freshman, but has played well in this 6-2 offense for the Mavericks. Second of the team in assists per set. And here's Rutherford. Taps it over, and again, her changeup got the better of UTA.
She actually missed that ball, got it with only 2 fingers. Those are the toughest ones to defend. Any kind of a flog like that, you just don't practice that.
I mentioned UTA playing at a 6-2 offense. Mick, you would implement that yourself as a coach. What is the key to a successful 6-2?
Well, really the key is having 6 hitters that can play, because when you go with 2 setters, you kind of slow down your momentum when a new setter comes in. It takes a couple of sets to get into it. So you have to have good outside and middle hitters to do this system. Otherwise, you want to stay with a 5-1 to hold momentum and try to get everybody tuned in.
Now, your USC team was the last to win a national championship with the 6-2, isn't that right?
That is correct. And we had great outside players. I mean, we had 6 kids that could kill the ball, and we did that 2 years in a row to win 2 national championships in a row.
8-7, Bobcats on top as Fitzgerald picks up another kill. Again, the reigning Sunbelt Conference Offensive Player of the Week. Second of the country in total kills and points scored this year.
So right now, Brianna Ford has been their best scoring option. Coming in with Peyton, though, has been good, because Fitzgerald has shut down, basically, Brianna Ford so far. So now they're going to have to go to the middle to score.
Allie Wells serving for UTA. Again, what big shoes for her to fill, as Madison St. Germain transferred to Alabama. But Coach Wenger believes that she has excelled in the role of libero this year, doing an incredible job of getting her teammates in position defensively. Surrender service here, though, to Jillian Slaughter.
We're going to have a challenge on this. Teske has hit this ball out of bounds, but that Allie Wells has missed, and that was on fire by Janelle Fitzgerald down the line and in front of her.
Fitzgerald, her 7th kill tonight, heads to the bench on the rotations. Saw the Bobcats' home record in conference play since they joined the league 7 years ago. Their overall record, home, road, neutral, is 109 and 23, an .826 win percentage.
Well, Granada's made 2 great saves here, but her first ball pass went on the net. She has to keep the ball off. That's 2 tonight in the first game, 1 in the second game. But she's usually right on the money.
Bobcats hustling, keeping this rally alive. But the Mavericks win the point. Good swing for the left side from Brooke Townsend, the junior out of Bastrop, the only Maverick named preseason all Sunbelt.
Coach Hewitt is kind of upset. He thinks the up official should have called a double.
With a back and forth second set after the Bobcats one going away in the first.
Marshall's late on that set behind from DeWalt. Teske's got to get off the net and take an approach, though. That's a double hit right there.
Yep, that's the call from the up official.
Coach Hewitt wanted that last time.
Have to settle for this one. And here is Teske, the sophomore out of nearby Schertz.
Both coaches are into this tonight. I'm telling you, we're having a competitive match on the floor and on the side of the floor.
Teske so far tonight, 5 kills. Had a career high 19 first weekend of the season. And a win over Houston Baptist, named Sunbelt Conference Offensive Player of the Week. The Bobcats have had a number of players win the conference's weekly honors.
Well, UTA has stayed in this match with offensive production, and Texas State has not made the normal bigs that they normally make. So that's kind of evened things up here, and we're in a nail biter.
It seems as if they're starting to hit away from Granado. Right serve to Johnson. Dump play from DeWalt, but Brianna Brown was right there. There's the hit to Granado. Rutherford the shots.
I tell you, Rutherford scored on that, but that was going out of bounds. That's the third ball in a row she's hit deep. At least that's my opinion, that it was going out of bounds. So she should be happy Middleback decided to play that with her hands.
Neither team can pull away right now.
Yeah, it's the first ball pass and the velocity of the serving.
Nice setup. It's Samara Payton to play. Speaking to freshman. Payton out of North Richland Hills, Texas.
That's her third kill in the second set here.
Tie for second most on the team. DeWalt setting up Rutherford. Blocked by Payton. And the Bobcats that time call for being in the net.
Slaughter was in the net, but Brooke Johnson's made 3 perfect passes tonight, and that's a welcome sight, I'm sure, for Coach Hewitt.
Blank serving for UTA, who's had a strong service game this year. Once had 5 aces at a sweep of ULM earlier this season. Bobcats get service back, trailing by 1.
I'm not sure if Slaughter's late in the middle or DeWalt's just setting her too low. The timing's not quite right. It might be because DeWalt's now having to set Slaughter in front, Marshall behind on the quick sets.
Dug out by Teskey. Back set for Fitzgerald. Right there to Wells.
First time she's gotten to swing. Rutherford's going to have to move that block in. Brown scored cross court twice from the right side.
Mavericks on top, 15-13 in set 2. We're back after this.
We still stand strong. Always will. Shining from the hill.
The honors the way she's played this season.
There's another competition going on. The referees are having a big discussion. Both coaches are in their ear about something. Richard Blow was over talking to the up official about something here for about 4 or 5 minutes, and there's something going on that somebody doesn't like. I'm not sure what it is just yet.
That's Janelle's biggest fan, by the way. Her dad, James. DeWalt bump set for Rutherford. Good block from Slaughter.
Oh, there's another bad set.
Double hit against UTA.
Molly Blank is struggling here for some reason right now. It looked like she actually might have lost the ball in the lights. You don't think about that indoors, but that does happen. Nice serve, Foster.
Here's DeWalt setting up Slaughter in the middle. You'll see DeWalt funneled to the middle when Tierney Scott is in the match. Scott, though, again not available tonight, but a good setup there for Jillian Slaughter.
Slaughter's working over the freshman Payton, but Payton has also scored 3 times in this set, so it's kind of a battle back and forth.
Slaughter can be very good defensively in the middle. Had 7 blocks in the series last week against Arkansas State. Off the antenna. And the Bobcats, after the officials' timeout on a bit of a run, Texas State has now scored 3 straight.
This is how good Fitzgerald is, though. She has caused a lot of problems for Brianna Ford here. And Brianna Ford's good. She's hit a variety of shots, but not what she wants to hit because Fitzgerald takes a lot of area away.
Good defensive play by Foster, but the Mavericks wind up with a point, and we're tied again at 16.
That was a nice shot.
Here's Allie Wells. Talked about all of her accolades defensively. Was named as Sun Belt Conference Defensive Player of the Week back-to-back weeks, October the 13th and October 20th. And the Offensive Player of the Week, Janelle Fitzgerald, has her 8th kill tonight.
She's going cross court a little bit more than normal. I really think she's widened her range, and it's much more difficult to defend her when she uses all of the court.
Another assist for Emily DeWall, gives her 23 tonight. Has more than 32, now more than 3,300 in her career, 5th most in program history.
Slaughter with a good dig.
Good dig for Fitzgerald. Foster tracks it down and keeps it alive. Wells may have wanted to let that one go. Back set, Fitzgerald, an easy swing.
Safe play by Fitzgerald on a broken play.
Here's Teskey.
That actually was Slaughter, the middle blocker, that came in there and made that play. It looked like Teskey, though.
This second set has had a lot of long rallies. It ends here as Texas State takes a 2-point lead. You don't see her doing this all that often, but Janelle Fitzgerald can make some defensive plays on the court.
Look at that.
And again, after that long rally, the attacking error from Martinka ends it. 2-point Bobcat lead, cut down to 1 on the service error. Texas State's 4th tonight.
Hard to get after Slaughter about that serve when she's made so many good plays in the backcourt as well as the front court tonight.
Mentioned Martinka, not a great hitting percentage against Texas State a couple of weeks ago, hitting just .155 for the season. She's finished with a negative hitting percentage 4 times this year for UTA. Hit that to Granado. What a great setup there from Marshall.
Tessa Marshall with a very nice swing on that push one across the body of the middle blocker.
Kind of fitting that Marshall is stepping in the middle for Tierney Scott, because Marshall herself, because of an injury, missed the entire month of October. Made a return to the lineup last week at Arkansas State.
Well, Marshall's quite athletic. She has a lot of potential.
Another double hit against UTA, their 3rd here in set 2.
Yeah, we're having a little confidence problem here with the setter.
And that'll lead to a timeout for UTA.
To get out of this. This is their rotation. They score the least number of points in, and they need something like a good pass, which they didn't get there.
Instead of free ball.
Yeah, now the other team has got all their attackers in system. Whoa, good block by DeWald on Brown.
Brown tries again from deeper towards the line. Marshall the shot. Brown again. And Brianna Brown started to heat up for UTA, and the Mavericks, since the timeout, have scored 3 straight. And UTA on top 21-20, leads to a timeout from Coach Sean Hewitt.
It's important that Texas State has 3 defensive specialists in the back row here to pass. Passing should be a primary focus for those 3 players here. They only have 2 hitters, and DeWalt now has to become an attacker here.
We brought this up again. Texas State ranked 11th in the country. You look at the latest AVCA top 15 poll. We can actually only show you 12 teams here. A non-vote of number 15, Coastal Carolina. Texas, mixed former program, ranked number 1. You look at this right here. What do all those teams have in common? Power 5, except 1. Texas State there at number 11. What an accomplishment for Coach Hewitt's program.
Well, absolutely, and he's got some athletes that go right along with all of those athletes there also, so he's done a great job recruiting. Texas State deserves to be up there, and I'd remind the committee that it's the number 11 team in the country when they get ready for selections.
The 19 wins for the Bobcats, the most among that group. Texas is second with a dozen. Out of the timeout, Bobcats trailing by 1.
First ball kill is important here. Good pass. Oh my. That's the only thing UTA did not want to do.
And that will get Texas State out of that rotation, as Mick said they needed to do.
Now, this is their second rotation, second worst rotation for Texas State. So while they need to score while they're serving, they will also have to first ball side out of this. And this is after 20 points in the game here.
From the back row, Ford have the shot dug out by Texas State.
That ball's down.
Yep. Line judge says it hit the floor.
Good call.
UTA not arguing that.
So UTA is really stressing Texas State because Texas State only had one hitter. Rutherford had to play the first ball. That meant that Marshall or DeWalt were the only two people left, and DeWalt had to set the ball.
Brown the shot. Here's Rutherford. The first hit gets it back. Had a block, but the Bobcats keep it alive.
Gotta go high and deep. Oh, my.
Easy ball there for Brown to play off of.
Line, I'll bet. Oh, good block by DeWalt. My goodness, we don't usually see DeWalt scoring points blocking.
Emily DeWalt, the defensive play for Texas State. Incredible center, one of the best in the country, shows off a defensive effort there. That leads to a UTA timeout. Funny thing about DeWalt, has 45 career double-doubles, had a near triple-double against Louisiana last month, was 3 blocks shy of that. So you
take a lot of times, and now she's scoring points blocking. You can't ask anything more from a young lady playing the center position.
Up to 25 assists tonight. Has hit 40 or more 35 times in her career. On this floor last month, saw her put up 64 assists in a 4-set match against Little Rock.
Teskey has been long coming out of timeouts a couple of times this year, but she handled that pretty good.
Nice
look at Brown. Yeah,
yep.
Brown up there, big swing, and Rutherford down the line is a real improvement in this selection.
It's now a set point for Texas State. The Bobcats have played 7 sets against UTA this season. They have not lost one. Brown looking to make it 8 for 8.
Brown can't believe Granado dug her that easily.
Good defensive play from Teskey, but out of play for Rutherford, and the Mavericks stay alive for at least one more serve.
Yeah, Teskey went airborne on that.
Ending a 4-0 scoring run for the Bobcats. It's up now to Michaela Wright to extend it.
Wright's been serving well, but easy. Oh, Marshall.
And that'll do it from the middle. Off to Walt's 27th assist tonight. The Bobcats take a 2-0 lead over UTA as Texas State tries to inch closer towards a 3rd straight Sun Belt Conference regular season title. The Bobcats locked in on top of the Mavericks, 2-0. Tied with the 2018 team from 2 seasons ago. The fact that this program has pieced together win streaks like that speaks to the job that Karen Chisholm did over the better part of 4 decades as head coach here at Texas State. And now the passing of the baton to her longtime assistant, Sean Hewitt. And this program has not missed a beat. 3rd set underway with the Bobcats on top 2-0. Again, have to know just how good UTA's youth has been this year. As Johnson digs out the Brianna Brown shot.
Buechner's in.
Johnson at play for the Bobcats on the back row. Teskey back row attack. And this rally continues.
Smart play by Teskey because she took the setter out. Buechner, sharp angle. Buechner usually gets dug on that shot, but beat Allie Wells on that one.
So again, Brianna Ford, Brianna Brown, a part of this youth movement for UTA as you see the Buechner point for Texas State. So far tonight, Brown 6 kills, leads a team. Right behind her is Ford with 5 for UTA.
You know what's impressive to me about those two, though? Between them, they only have 2 errors. And they've received a total of 42 sets in the first 2 sets. So they're very smart with their shots. As they get more and more savvy, they're going to be real tough to deal with.
You see what the two have done so far this season. They've each won a Sun Belt Freshman of the Week honor, doing so in back-to-back weeks. Coach Wenger saying both Brianna Brown and Brianna Ford have been like sponges. They just soak in everything and have adapted well to the college game. It's really been a joy watching them play. So again, having to replace so much from last year, having to lock and reload, and Coach Wenger's done a very good job in recruiting new talent to his program.
Yeah, I think he has an upgrade. I think he's going to be very good in the future.
One of the things he mentioned, Mick, is that the Mavericks have traded the experience in for athleticism. You and I saw the Mavericks a couple of times last year, both in their visit to St. Marcus and again to the Sun Belt Tournament. Have you seen an improvement in that athleticism he referred to?
Yes, the outsides, especially the two we've been talking about, have a great impact, will have a great impact. Last year's team was really athletic in the middle, but if you can't get them the ball, it's more difficult for them to hurt other teams. He's traded that. He's got young middles right now and young outsides, but the athleticism on the outside and the ability of both these kids to pass, serve, as well as hit is really going to make them a high offensive team.
I saw you also commenting to Coach Wenger before the match tonight that they looked bigger.
I did think they looked bigger. I walked by these kids warming up, and I felt pretty small, to tell you the truth.
Here's Fitzgerald. Get that right to blank.
Well, that's good because that way UTA doesn't have a setter to hit at their offense.
Off of DeWalt, there's a kill for Samara Payton for UTA.
So Payton's in there to score, but Texas State has been working her over by setting in front of her and pushing it across her body, and she hasn't been able to stop any of those so far. Both Marshall and Slaughter have been successful out of the middle against her.
Good swing from Fitzgerald, and she is up to 10 kills on the night. Again, Fitzgerald is coming off an impressive performance against Arkansas State this past weekend. 30 kills, a career high for her. And Coach Hewitt saying she was extremely locked in Jonesboro. As good as she was, as good as she has been, the Bobcats believe there's still another level that they can get her to. And if you're the rest of the Sun Belt Conference, that's scary.
There was a deceptive, one linesman just called it in and the other linesman called it out, and they were both correct. This linesman on our right said it was inside the line, but it was also beyond the in line of the other side.
These two meet again tomorrow in what is not only the final match of the regular season for the two teams, but it is the final match of the Sun Belt Conference's regular season. The next match played in the Sun Belt will be in the tournament next week in Foley, Alabama. As there, Teskey passes step over Janelle Fitzgerald. Not exactly Iverson and Tyrone Lue. Here's Fitzgerald, his shot got blocks. Brianna Ford, the freshman, makes a play for UTA.
So each freshman now has stuffed Fitzgerald one time. Brown in the first set, Ford in the third set.
Bobcat lead down to 2. Here's DeWalt setting up Marshall in the middle.
Boy, DeWalt threaded the needle on that one also. But Marshall is swinging. She is quite impressive tonight, Brent. She's holding her own, and she's not all that tall, but her jumping ability and her athleticism make up for some of that.
Missed time jump by Wright, but got enough on it to get it over. And UTA takes the point at 7-5. You know what's funny? You look at UTA's record, 9-5. It's a pretty good record. Coach Hewitt, though, saying that UTA is better than the record would indicate. You usually say that about a team who's 2-9 or something like that. The fact that UTA is better than a 9-5 record, that tells you all you need to know about this Maverick team. They're young, but they're talented.
I would agree. I would agree that I would feel the same way as JT feels, because he understands the athleticism of these outsides. He understands the arm, and Peyton's got a great arm in the middle. So he feels like if he can reduce errors, he can play a lot better, and he's hoping for that in the tournament. Right now, we're getting sloppy with the first ball, though.
Cap with a back set, and Martinka, who's been off target on some of her swings tonight, has the kill. And for Martinka, her third tonight, lead us down to 2.
Well, Cap could have been called for a double on that. She was real close to almost double hitting that ball.
Here's Buechner, the shot for the Bobcats.
Well, Buechner got that cross-court shot down, but it was against the middle blocker who had just served and ran to that position. So I'm sure Coach Hewitt wants her to use the back line a little bit more and spread out that defense.
Didn't see Buechner until this third set. Didn't play in the first 2. Coming off a strong finale against Arkansas State this past Saturday. 9 kills, 6 digs, and a block in the 5-set come from behind victory. Adds a lot of depth to Texas State's outside hitters.
Well, Coach Hewitt knows he's got to get everybody ready for this tournament. So he's bringing them in for experience and confidence, and
cross-court setup for Brown.
He's still trying to win, but I think Granado is getting frustrated. They're hitting away from her, and then they're serving her, and she doesn't get to touch enough balls. You know, liberos need to touch a lot of balls to get comfortable, and then they can really control. And she hasn't really had an opportunity to touch too many balls tonight.
Data official walks over to the Bobcat bench. Not sure what that was about.
I think it's about the setter contacts.
Blank setting up Peyton.
That's going to score.
It did. Kayla Granado.
Now there's 2 players on the bench that are telling Coach Winger challenge. They're saying it's out. Let's see what happens.
Here comes the green challenge card from Coach Winger. It's funny. Mick was saying the lack of touches had taken Granado out of her rhythm. That's an impressive season. 47th time in her brilliant career.
I tell you what, Molly Blank just doesn't know what to do. She is being pelted with balls from Fitzgerald.
Brown from the right side. Haven't seen her as effective from the right as she has been from the left tonight for UTA.
No, I wonder why they don't stack this pattern over to the left.
And the Mavericks call for a timeout. The second seeds out of the West and East respectively will be tough outs as well. And again, each team plays twice. You play both of your opponents in the pool. The winners of each pool will advance to the Sun Belt Conference semifinals. Mick, have you been a part of pool tournament play before?
I actually am old enough that I've been part of a lot of that, yes. I actually always thought it was a good way to go into the tournament, but only if you weren't the first-rated team, because there's more chances for people to upset you.
Now again, the Bobcats have shot to clear as the top 2 seeds in the upcoming tournament as they were a year ago. In 2019, they enjoyed the advantage of not having to play until the semifinals. That advantage is out the window this year. How do you feel if you're those top 2 seeds not getting that advantage?
Well, actually, I disagree that it's an advantage. I think it's not an advantage.
Okay.
I think when other teams play a first round, and you watch this in the men's tournament, they have 2 matches prior to the teams that get byes, and the ones that win and move forward to the teams that have been seeded and didn't play always struggle in that first match. So I would be very leery of getting a bye like that. You want your team to play. If you're the best team, you know you can survive.
Big time shot from the freshman Brianna Ford.
This is why I think UTA is going to be good. Both of these left sides come. They have good vertical jumps. They have good arms. They hit with velocity, and they look like they could each hit 30, 40 balls a night.
Again, Ford has played well this season. 5 double-doubles in her first collegiate season. Had a streak of 4 in a row last month. Tonight, Ford up to 6 kills for the Mavericks as the Bobcats pull ahead by 5.
Teskey just beat Allie Wills really badly. And that was a one-on-one with both of them seeing the eyes of each other. And Teskey really just went wrist away on her.
Wells over 20 digs rather tonight for UTA. Their great libero, 21 so far this evening. She had 45 in a 5-set match against Louisiana last week. Most in the country this season.
Do you know how fun that is to play that position and get that many attempts? She probably had 45 digs. She probably had 55 to 60 attempts.
You talk about touches and staying in rhythm about Granado. I have to imagine that Wells stayed in rhythm all night that night.
That's right. And when she can touch that many balls, sometimes you make magnificent saves because you're in rhythm so well.
15-11. 16-11, Texas State on top.
So we haven't seen that play from Texas State all year. That's a double quick where Janelle Fitzgerald comes right behind the setter instead of staying out and going off of 1 foot. Marshall went for a quick set in the middle, and then we had a 4 to the outside.
And Fitzgerald up to a dozen kills now. But off the service there, UTA pulls back to within 4.
These backcourt specialists have to understand their jobs here when they come in. You've got a lead like this. You don't want to make serving errors in the net. It's okay to miss long, but you have to make the other team have to make a choice. Granado with a perfect pass. Teskey's got a chance. Oh, goes to the middle. Nice bump set by Johnson. Look at those efforts.
Here's Teskey. Kept alive with one hand by Wells, but outside the antenna. Bobcats on top, 17-12.
Now that's some maturity by Teskey because she took something off that ball, went deep cross-court corner to 5, and she didn't have to have velocity to get the kill.
And now Teskey serving. And the sophomore with a good serve hit that right to the freshman Ford.
Buechner got used on that one, didn't drive that outside hand in. I'm betting something to Marshall here if we get a good pass.
Received by Teskey.
Oh. Brooke Johnson made a nice read. She bumped set over her head, hoping Teskey would hit out of the back row, but
Martinka, another play for UTA, sophomore out of Stanwood, Washington. You see the numbers there for Wright, but she's known more for what she does defensively in the middle. A great blocker, 15th in the conference in block shots, leads her team with more than 40 this year. Had 9 of the season opener against Little Rock, a career high. Double hit against the Mavericks. They've been called for that so many times.
At least 5 times, 5 points for ball handling skills. Now, that loses you matches.
In a pandemic-shortened season, the Bobcats are on the verge of another 20-win campaign. That's remarkable.
Teskey with a nice dig. Buechner takes the setter out.
Martinka, way too strong, and the Bobcats are 6 points away from the 20th win of 2020.
You know, I've noticed something different about Granada's serve. It's lower and flatter, and I'm thinking that's why it's pretty close to being out of bounds. All season long, she's hit a little bit higher ball that drops towards the back line. This is more of a line drive serve she's serving right now.
Brown shot, that's too strong. And the Bobcats are pulling away now.
I feel that Brown hasn't received enough sets tonight. I would have worked her early in the match a lot more to get some rhythm out of that body, and they take her out of the back row, so she can't really get into the match unless a lot of things go right for her.
Leads to a UTA.
Her left front.
Gordado deep behind the back line.
There's her serve right there. That's the one that drops down hard.
Good dig by Johnson. Bump set by DeWalt. Buechner off the tape, kept alive by Brown.
Buechner's lucky, but let's see if she gets this one.
Didn't.
That might have been out of bounds. That was pretty close.
Samara Payton the play for UTA. Another one of those talented freshmen we referred to for the Mavericks.
Teskey's passing has been very good tonight.
Here's Brown with a free ball. Good pass from Johnson, but the shot doesn't stay in, and the Bobcats' lead is sliced down to 3.
Again, they're back in this rotation where they have trouble scoring. They need a first ball kill here. And Brown was all over DeWalt that time, so DeWalt couldn't dump, so that was smart that she didn't try that.
Setting up Slaughter. Dug out, though, by Ford. Leads to a free ball. Slaughter tries again. That shot lands in. And the Bobcats are 4 points away from extending a number of streaks. Their 13th straight win in this rivalry. Their 17th straight win this season. And their 31st straight win at home in Sun Belt Conference play.
My goodness.
Another mistimed jump from Brooke Townsend.
I think she might have the yips, you know. This is not good before the tournament to go through this, but maybe if she gets it out of her system tonight, she'll come back tomorrow.
Boy, Townsend again, I felt as if she took off too soon. Gordado with a bump set for Buechner. Good play from Wells.
Buechner's just having trouble getting to where she can get full contact. I might challenge that one.
Looking at the Texas State sideline, don't see the players on the court asking for Coach Hewitt to issue the challenge card.
Probably why I'm up here in the booth, not down on the floor.
That is exactly why, Mick. DeWalt sets up Buechner.
That was better. She got her whole frame straight up in the air when she jumped and got full extension. Very difficult to press over the blocker reaching high, and she got used.
Now Michelle Foster serves for Texas State. Looking to set up match point. Kept alive by Ford. Slaughter off another great assist from Emily DeWalt. And it is match point for Texas State.
What DeWalt's doing is making sure that those middles know they have to jump every time because she's feeding them. And they're in pretty good shape because they're getting off the net and getting back up there ready to swing.
A chant of sweep can be heard here at Strain Arena. And the Bobcats are 1 win away from program history as Texas State claims its 31st straight win at home in Sun Belt Conference.